Let me tell you something straight. Stop depending on people. Stop waiting for someone to save you, help you, or hand you what you think you deserve. Because here's the truth. No one is your friend when it comes to your success, your growth, and your survival. People will smile at you. They'll clap for you. They'll even say they've got your back. But when it really matters, when you're on the ground, when the pressure is crushing, when the storm is hitting hard, you will realize most of those so-called friends are nowhere to be found. And that's not because people are evil. It's because human beings are wired to protect themselves first. Everyone is busy fighting their own battles. So if you build your life depending on others, you're already setting yourself up for disappointment. You want respect? Build it. You want freedom? Earn it. You want strength? Create it. No one owes you loyalty. No one owes you support. And no one owes you friendship. The only person who owes you everything, when you stop leaning on others, something powerful happens. You stop waiting. You stop begging. You stop being a passenger in your own life. You take the wheel. You become accountable. You become unshakable. So here's the lesson. Be your own friend before expecting anyone else to be. Stand so firm in who you are that even if everyone walks away, you still stand tall. Because at the end of the day, when the lights go out, when the noise dies down, the only person you can truly count on is the one staring back at you in the mirror. No one owes you support. Depend on yourself. This truth is one of the hardest lessons you will ever face in life, yet it is the one that will liberate you the most. Most of us grow up believing that people will be there when we fall, that friends will always stand by us, and that loyalty is guaranteed if we give loyalty in return. But reality does not work like that. People are not waiting to carry your weight. They are not obligated to save you. They are not responsible for building your life. Everyone has their own burdens, their own struggles, and their own priorities. To expect constant support from others is not only unfair to them, but it is also dangerous for you. It leaves you weak, dependent, and unprepared for the moments when no one shows up. And those moments will come. Depending on others is easy because it gives you the illusion of security. You think if you have enough people around you, you will never have to face the storm alone. But storms don't wait for company. They come when you least expect them. And when they hit, you will discover very quickly that most people are more concerned about their own safety than about yours. This is not cruelty. It is human nature. People are wired to protect themselves, to prioritize their own needs, and to save their own energy. The problem is not that others cannot be trusted. The problem is that you built your foundation on someone else's strength instead of your own. And when that strength disappears, so does your stability. You have to become your own support system. You must build yourself in such a way that even if everyone around you walks away, you do not collapse. This means developing mental toughness, emotional resilience, and the discipline to push forward when no one is cheering for you. Support from others should be a bonus, never a necessity. When you start living with that mindset, you take full control of your life. You stop waiting for a helping hand and instead create the hand and that pulls you up. Depending on yourself also forces you to grow. When there is no one to lean on, you learn how to stand taller. You learn how to solve problems instead of waiting for someone to fix them. You learn how to motivate yourself instead of waiting for validation. This shift turns you into someone people cannot break because your strength does not come from outside. It comes from within. And that is the kind of strength that lasts. That is the kind of strength that carries you through every storm. When you live expecting support, you set yourself up for disappointment. People will fail you, not because they want to, but because they are human. They forget, they get tired, they change, or sometimes they simply do not care as much as you hoped they would. If your happiness and progress depend on their actions, you give away your power. But when you accept that no one owes you anything, you take that power back. You stop demanding from others what you should be demanding from yourself. There is freedom in this mindset. You stop being bitter when people don't show up because you never expected them to. You stop being resentful when people break promises because you never built your life on their words. You stop wasting time chasing after people to fill gaps in your life because you learn to fill them yourself. Instead of asking, why didn't they help me? You start asking, why didn't I help myself? That question forces accountability. It forces action. It forces growth. Depending on yourself also teaches you how to choose people wisely. When you no longer rely on others for your survival, you start to see relationships differently. You stop clinging to people out of need and start surrounding yourself with people who add value, not because you cannot live without them, but because you choose to live with them. That is the difference between dependence and strength. Dependence keeps you chained. Strength gives you the freedom to connect without fear of losing yourself. The reality is that many people want the reward without the responsibility. They want applause without effort, recognition without sacrifice, and support without giving anything back. But life does not bend to those demands. Life respects those who take responsibility for themselves. Life favors those who prepare for the worst without waiting for someone to carry them through it. When you depend on yourself, you cannot be manipulated because no one can take away what they never gave you. You cannot be abandoned because you never expected anyone to carry you. You cannot be broken because you built yourself. Every time you push yourself when you don't feel like it, you are training independence. Every time you face a problem head on, instead of waiting for someone to solve it, you are training resilience. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you are proving that you can rely on yourself. And once you learn that no loss, no betrayal, and no disappointment can shake you because you understand the core truth, no one owes you support, so you stop depending on it. Build strength, respect, and freedom on your own. Too many people wait for others to give them permission to be strong, to validate their worth, or to hand them the freedom they crave. But no one is coming with a stamp of approval. No one is coming with a certificate that says you are respected, and no one is coming to unlock the doors of your life for you. If you want strength, you must build it. If you want respect, you must earn it. If you want freedom, you must create it. These are not gifts handed out. They are forged in the fire of discipline, struggle, and relentless effort. Strength is not given. It is developed when you do the hard things that most people avoid. It comes from refusing to quit when life pushes you down. It grows every time you choose to get back up, even when it feels easier to stay broken. Strength does not show up overnight. It is built through consistency, through showing up for yourself day after day, through carrying your own burdens without begging others to carry them for you. People admire strength, but what they often don't see are the silent battles, the late nights, the failures, and the countless times you fought through doubt. If you want strength, you must accept it will be painful, lonely, and demanding, but the reward is a version of yourself no one can break. Respect follows the same principle. You cannot demand respect. You must earn it. And you do not earn it by talking, begging, or threatening. You earn respect by the way you carry yourself, the standards you uphold, and the boundaries you refuse to compromise. Respect comes when you stop living to please others and start living with integrity. It comes when people watch how you handle challenges, how you treat yourself, and how you treat others. If you are inconsistent, if you allow others to walk over you, if you betray your own values just to fit in, you will never have respect. But when you stand firm in who you are, when your words match your actions, when you refuse to lower yourself for approval, people may not always like you, but they will respect you. And that respect is worth more than any fake friendship or shallow applause. Freedom is the final piece, and it is perhaps the most important. Real freedom does not come from money alone, from titles, or from luck. Real freedom comes when you build yourself in such a way that you are no longer controlled by fear, by dependence, or by the opinions of others. Freedom is being able to make decisions for yourself without asking for permission. Freedom is walking away from toxic people and toxic environments without hesitation. Freedom is living life on your own terms because you put in the work to create choices. That freedom is only possible when you take responsibility for your own growth and stop expecting the world to hand it to you. Strength, respect, and freedom are interconnected. If you build strength, you naturally command respect. If you earn respect, you gain the freedom to stand tall without constantly defending yourself. If you create freedom, you strengthen yourself even more because you are no longer chained to things that weaken you. It all starts with the decision to stop waiting for others to give you what you want and to start building it for yourself. People often fail because they want shortcuts. They want to be respected without sacrifice, to be strong without suffering, to be free without discipline. But shortcuts collapse under pressure. There is no lasting respect without consistent character. There is no true strength without enduring pain. There is no real freedom without the price of responsibility. If you are unwilling to pay that price, you will spend your life chasing illusions, always looking for someone else to hand you what you should have created yourself. Building strength means training your mind as much as your body. It means controlling your emotions instead of letting them control you. It means choosing focus when distraction tempts you and resilience when defeat mocks you. Building respect means keeping promises, not only to others, but to yourself. It means living by principles that do not change based on who is watching. It means valuing yourself enough to demand the same from others. Building freedom means working hard enough that you are not dependent on the mercy of others. It means mastering yourself so deeply that you cannot be manipulated by fear, guilt, or flattery. Most people underestimate how much power they actually have. They complain about not being respected, yet they disrespect themselves every day by accepting less than they deserve. They complain about not being strong, yet they avoid every challenge that would make them stronger. They complain about not being free, yet they hand over their choices to others because it feels easier. The truth is, the life you want will not come from outside. It must come from inside. Every step towards strength, respect, and freedom is a step you take alone. There will be days when you feel like no progress is being made, when you question if all the effort is worth it, when you wonder if it would be easier to just wait for someone to help. Those are the exact moments when you are building the foundation for the life you want. Every rep you push through, every difficult decision you make, every boundary you enforce, every lonely night you endure, all of it adds up. No one sees it in the moment, but over time, it transforms you into someone unshakable. Be your own friend before expecting anyone else to be. People often look outward for validation, comfort, and encouragement, believing that someone else must fill the emptiness they feel inside. They want others to cheer for them, support them, and stand by them when life gets hard. But here is the reality. If you cannot stand with yourself first, no amount of friends, no amount of external approval, and no amount of company will ever satisfy you. Being your own friend is the foundation of resilience, strength, and peace. Without it, you will always be chasing people, depending on their moods, their attention, and their presence to feel whole. With it, you become independent, confident, and unbreakable. Being your own friend begins with how you talk to yourself. Too many people are cruel in their own minds. They tear themselves down, criticize every flaw, and punish themselves for mistakes. They offer compassion to others but deny it to themselves. If you spoke to a friend the way you speak to yourself, would they stay? If the answer is no, then you are not your own friend yet. You have to learn to stand in your own corner, to encourage yourself when no one else is watching, to remind yourself of your worth, even when the world is silent. Self-respect starts with self-conversation. The voice in your head can either be your greatest enemy or your strongest ally, and the choice is yours. Being your own friend also means keeping promises to yourself. When you tell yourself you are going to do something, and then you break that commitment, you betray yourself. Just like you would lose trust in someone who constantly breaks promises, you lose trust in yourself when you live without discipline. Friendship is built on reliability, and if you cannot rely on yourself, you will forever rely on others to hold you accountable. Start small, set goals you can achieve, and follow through. Each time you keep your word to yourself, you strengthen the bond with yourself. Over time, that bond becomes unshakable, and you stop seeking validation because you know you can count on you. Being your own friend is also about protecting yourself. You wouldn't allow someone you care about to stay in toxic situations, to be used, or to be disrespected. Yet many people allow these things to happen to themselves every day because they value other people's approval more than their own peace. If you are truly your own friend, you set boundaries. You walk away from relationships that drain you. You say no to things that compromise your values. You choose environments that support your growth. This is not selfishness. It is loyalty to yourself. A real friend protects, and if you will not protect yourself, no one else truly can. Being your own friend also requires patience. Growth does not happen overnight, and mistakes are guaranteed. But instead of tearing yourself down for not being perfect, learn to guide yourself the way a good friend would. When you fall, lift yourself. When you fail, encourage yourself. When you doubt, remind yourself of who you are. If you constantly criticize every shortcoming, you will paralyze yourself with fear of failure. But if you are patient and understanding with yourself, you will create the safety and confidence needed to keep moving forward. This friendship with yourself must also include celebration. Too often, people wait for others to acknowledge their achievements before they allow themselves to feel proud. They look for claps, likes, and recognition, and if it doesn't come, they minimize their own progress. But when you are your own friend, you celebrate yourself regardless of who is watching. You acknowledge your small wins, you appreciate the effort you put in, and you give yourself credit for how far you've come. This builds internal motivation. It makes you less dependent on outside praise because you learn to recognize your own value without needing permission. Being your own friend means you can enjoy your own company. Many people fear being alone because they have not built that relationship with themselves. They depend on constant noise, distractions, and other people to avoid facing who they are. But when you are your own friend, solitude becomes strength. You can sit with your thoughts without fear. You can enjoy peace without craving constant stimulation. You can walk alone without feeling lonely because you realize you are never truly alone when you are in good company with yourself. When you become your own friend, something shifts in how you interact with others. You no longer cling to relationships out of desperation. You don't tolerate disrespect just to avoid being alone. You don't chase people who don't value you because you already value yourself. This gives you freedom. You can choose people from a place of strength, not need. You connect because you want to, not because you must. Relationships become healthier because you are not asking someone else to complete you. You are already whole. Most importantly, being your own friend gives you resilience when life gets hard. People may leave, betray, or disappoint you. But if you have yourself, you are never truly abandoned. You can lose many things, but as long as you don't lose yourself, you can rebuild. You can face challenges with confidence, knowing that the person in the mirror will never walk away from you. That is the foundation of true independence, and it begins the moment you stop demanding friendship from others and start giving it to yourself first.